Good morning, my fellow dear friends. Good morning. All the real dear friends. Good afternoon. Good evening from my location. As I greet you all, the Genubia friends and lovers of freedom, and also the haters of the new declared country with first self-referendum vote and also the official declaration of United States of Biafra. I once again welcome you all this morning for a very important interactive section that we all are going to handle together. I welcome you. So please, as I welcome you, welcome one another. I say I welcome you this morning. Please try to like and share the program so others may know that we are live this morning and we are direct to do the justice to things that are happening in the movement that we are into. This is a part of the reason why we are here this morning, to share with you, also to encourage ourselves, also to educate ourselves more. These are the reason why we are here also. So please take out your time to like, take out your time to share. At any time you come across this platform, do us that favor of sharing and liking the program. That is one of the most important things you can do. Anytime watching it on here, anytime you come across the platform, do not just view and leave, because when you only just view and leave, nobody knows that we are live. But when you view and like, then another person, it will trigger, or another person enter another person's hand. So that person will know that we are live and we are direct. So please like and share, put your comments on what you think, what we are doing, or if there's anything that you want us to change on what we are doing, please try to endeavor to do so, because by you doing that, you are also encouraging me and also letting me know where we need to change one or two things. These are the important things that we, the Biafran people, has to do. So on your own time, please try to like and share the program. Also subscribe on this page, Real Biafra TV. We are only here to educate ourselves, to know that things that we're supposed to know as of now that we are a new country, now that we are fighting to be a free nation. We're only fighting now to be a free nation. We are no longer in the era of protest. We are no longer in the era of every other thing, but we are in the era of where we are seeking for recognition of our new country that's called United States of Biafra, was declared on November 29, 2024. My fellow Biafrans, please, as I'm taking my time to share to the contact I have, to those who are always on this platform, ask us to wherever we come, that we should share to them so they will know we are live. So please, I urge you to also do that for me by liking, sharing, subscribing, putting your comments. Remember, on this page, we have a code. Our rightful code this time around is #Nigeria/Britain. Release or free the president of United States of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Then #Finland Authority. Release the Prime Minister of United States of Biafra in the name of Mazi Simon Ebanjoko. This is the code that this platform always welcome in. So please, we want you to hit the like button. We want you to subscribe on our page. That is what we are here to do. We are here also to let people know that a new country has been declared on November 29, 2024. And we also want them to know that now we have understand that under international laws, it is a right of a people to do what? To decide that we want a new country. That is their right, no matter what happened. That the only thing they have to look for is to go into fight to get recognition. And that is the fight that the Biafran people are fighting right now. So please, that is why I ask you, as you come into this platform, may you share the program, like the program. Why you are liking and sharing is for other people to know what we are doing and what we are seeking. What is that we are seeking this time around? We are not seeking for you to give us arm and bullet. We are only seeking for recognition from the world authorities and every countries who can. And I want those countries that want to give us solution to know that we have what we can also give to them back if they give us recognition. The Biafran people, we have oil, we have mineral resources in our land. And we also said that when Biafra is fully recognized, become a fully country, that we also, I will need the make us to know that we are going to give oil free, because the Biafran people are brain-based people. We don't depend on oil and gas to survive. We depend on our brain, what we can do by ourselves. That is the kind of people we are. We are not people like Nigeria who depend only on oil and gas. And that is why they continuously killing our people day in, day out. We, the Biafran people, agree that we are going to give this oil free to every nation. Because when every country in the world become a better place, have their riches and their wealth, nobody will be fighting another person. Nobody will fighting and want to be envy or jealous of what you have in your own country, because from what you have, you are giving them. Everybody is being happy. We want to, Biafran people want to make the world a better place. We want to make the world a better place. We want to make the world a place where if you have something, willingly you give to your fellow country to have. That is the kind of country we are building. That is the kind of country that we, the Biafran people, have decided to. That is why we are seeking for this international recognition, so that any country that gives us recognition this time around, I want you to know we have what it takes, what we can also offer you as we are coming to give us recognition. We have oil, and we're ready to give it out to you, and other mineral resources that can move a life, or can help a life of a human being. We have all this. My brother Kevin Apples, good morning. Where have you been for a long time? What happened? I'm just looking for you on social media, not seeing what happened. Are you okay? You're welcome on our Hollow platform. The code has changed somehow. The code remains this time around after one or two researches we have made, and in our previous program, those on this platform agree that we are going to be using this name for Mazen Nandekano Simon Eba. We are going to be using Mazen Nandekano, the name President of United States of Biafra. We also agree that we're going to be using the name of Simon Eba as the Prime Minister of United States of Biafra. You know that in this world we are into, the world quickly recognize evil and bad thing. Do you know that when you go to online and ask about Biafra Declaration, they will tell you, oh, a group called IPOB did not accept the declaration, that they say it is a scam. But the world, moreover, in Nigeria, the program, the narrative they are pushing out, that the IPOB are the one. Everybody wants you a Biafran, you an IPOB, simply mean indigenous people of Biafra. We are not in the era of IPOB organization that Mazen Naka was registered. Because we are not going to be a company like Nigeria. We want to be outright country, a full-blood country. Not a country like Nigeria, who was from company to company till up to this date we are into. Who Britain find out, who Britain on their own keep as what they want to use to get whatever they want in this life that we are living. So I urge you as a Biafran to understand the game that we are up to right now. This oil that you see that is causing problem in our land, we want any country who will contact the United States of Biafra government to know that the Biafran people has oil, has what it takes. We have unfinished oil in our land. It's part of the things that you get from us. Even if it happen to be a business, we are going to do it with you in a level that no other country can be able to do with you also. These are part of the things that we need to let the world know, that now that we are seeking for an international recognition, we are seeking for it because of we have what it takes to build a new country. We have what it takes to even also make your own country be a better place. The coming of Biafra is only to make the world a better place, where all these laws that are not really free to the people are going to be free, where a lot of changes has to be made. The coming of Biafra will change a lot of narrative in the world, a lot of constitutions that are not really legit, not really pure, because the Biafran people are pure in sense, pure in nature, pure in everything that we are doing, despite the corrupt country that we are coming from, which happens to be Nigeria, who is corrupting anybody who is coming across. Want to know that we have this. Also, my people, I want to remind us one thing quickly. Nigeria are playing their last game to destroy the declaration of United States of Biafra. You might come across of this news that Atiku has come down for P2B. All these are scam. If Obi is coming, you see that they want to use Obi to integrate Nigeria, be a better place. It can never happen, because if good luck cannot do it, Obi cannot do it also either. Do not be confused, do not be moved, because their game is out right now. The game of one Nigerianist is out in a brutal way. They will use their brother to stop this declaration, to make the declaration to become a failed state again. They want to use Obi again to confuse you. And I want us to know that many people will run away from many platforms when the time comes, in a small time, of this campaign of Atiku, of Obi and the president of Nigeria again. Our people will deviate again, because our people are not quickly to learn their lesson. That is why we are here, to let you know that Biafra has been declared, and the Biafran people should not allow the declaration to become a West one again, to become a failed state again, like what happened in 1967 to 1970. That is where they are dragging us into right now, and you are following them, and you are happy, and you are saying if it is true, even if it is not Obi, that you have stepped down for Obi, everything is okay. You are not being serious to yourself. You don't know what you want. This is Ukochukwu, the same people. Tell me the difference between Obi and the Atiku. Or you don't know that the coming of Obi will bring more taking over indigenous people in Nigeria. Or you don't know that Nigeria will be worse than every other place. That is when their mission will be accomplished, because all the Northerners who hate the Biafran people, no matter what you may say today, they see P2B as a Biafran, whether you like it or not. So for you who want to fall, who want to succumb, or that if Atiku step down to Obi, that they have integrated Nigeria, Nigeria is a failed state. It cannot work. Either they want to use it to make Biafra to become a failed state for the second time. That is the agenda of Nigeria right now, even though such thing happen. Why are you panicking? Why are you thinking otherwise? Why are you not focused? So after you have listened to all these platforms, all the programs, all the teachings, all the things we are doing, you have never come to the conclusion that the only way out is Biafra. That non-Igbo man will enter in that Nigeria. Once you enter there, you swear an oath of alliance, you become acting like them also. You will start acting like those people that you know. You will say, oh, where are they? The oath of Nigeria is to make you to act like a zombie. once enter the office. So Peter Obi cannot change anything for you as a Biafran. There's one that is some comment I will ask. Up to now, our people don't know what they want. Our people never even up to all this now. All this now we are trying to let you know that to understand the importance of the declaration and why a new country is the only thing that will save us. And you went ahead and said if Peter Obi has stepped down for Peter Obi, that means that Nigeria has been reintegrated into a new country. Who does that? Where? Who are the cabals that are ruling Nigeria? You think it's the president who is there? Do you know what Tinubu is passing through in the hands of the cabals also? Even when he's trying to do something good, they will make him to submit to their own will, or he will leave the office. In all this now we are doing, all this that are happening, I want to know that you have to be strong. In everything that is happening, do not move again. Peter Obi is a scam. They want to use him to destroy the declaration. They want to use him to destroy your 50 million votes. They want to use him to destroy the government of the state of Biafra. That is the meaning of Peter Obi. You know that they have used him before. They are here to use him again. Even if anybody step down, do you think he can win? What's our people's problem? What are you thinking? What are you saying? Obi is a scam to Igbo people. Obi is a scam to the Biafra movement. They always use him at a time like this. In all that is happening, where are you seeing Obi commenting? Because he has his ambition. When somebody who don't believe in what you believe is making a movement, all you have to do is to let people know the right way, that he's not a right person. Having a Peter Obi is not changing anything into Nigeria. Rather, it's going to add more pains to those who believe in one Nigeria, also somehow to you. So that is why you must stop him on arrival by standing up and stand for the United States of Biafra. Many people are going to deviate in second time of Peter Obi. Believe me, back this word from today. Many people are going to deviate. Many people are going to run away from this government. Many people are going to start condemning the government. After that, they will come back to start begging again. Remember what happened when Obato Obi is here with us. Remember what happened then. You think that when Obi contests under Peter Obi under Atiku as vice president, they could not give him. Is in that they were going to give him. They want to prove to you how he will fail woefully. I don't know what's wrong with our people. I don't know what is wrong with our people. I don't know what's wrong with our common sense. There are things you don't say, because when you say them, they will trigger you to react, to start having a double mind. Not every news you listen to, not everything you read in on it, because when you read in of everything, then you sometimes become a confused human being if your sense cannot carry what is going on. Relax yourself. Stand on the side of the government. That is only remedy. That is what only remedy into your life and your unborn children. If Peter Obi enters today, is he going to bomb all the Boko Harams and stop the organizations? Is he going to change Nigeria from being an Islamic country? If he enters, he's not going to change anything. Rather, he's going to worsen it. Because when they told him do this, he does not do. Those people who protest in the time of Goodluck Jonathan, where are they today? Why are they not protesting in the time of this Tinubu? The same people will come and start protesting against Obi. I don't know what's wrong with. I don't know. People don't understand the politics, the game that we are into. Until you understand the game that we are into, that is the only time you will not look aside that anything coming from Nigeria is a danger to you. Anything coming from Nigeria is pure danger. Anything that is coming from side of Nigeria, you don't need to think twice. Just know that distraction is coming. More distraction, more damage into United States of Biafra. They want to make Biafra to become a failed state for the second time, and you are somehow articulating that will be coming. We change some things. Just love this. Has been a while. We are here. I hope your family is okay. Hope you're okay, my brother. You and the Maz came in that bus. It's been long. It's been a while. So, my fellow Biafrans, do not be moved. Do not panic. A lot is happening, and a lot is about to happen. Ask yourself, between now to 2027, where are you going to be? On the side of the Biafra, or hiding and seeking and supporting Peter Obi? That is a question you must ask yourself. This is a question that you must ask yourself. Between now to 2027, where is your stand? What is your position? Indirectly, are you supporting Obi? Because when you stop seeing your comments, when your comment is no longer coming, when you are no longer calling, then we know that you have supported Obi, his campaign, and you believe in what Nigeria back. That is why Biafra Quest is not for those double-minded human beings. These are part of the things that we all must know. I want to understand it clearly that Obi is a distraction. Obi is the instrument they want to use to make Biafra a first state. So even though if Atiku resign for him to become the next president, has he won the election? Has he won the process? After he has won, what is your own benefit as a Biafran? What is your problem? Why are we always deviating? Why are we always thinking the way we're not supposed to think? Why are you not seeing the danger first of what is looming? For me, anything about Peter Obi is a distraction to destroy, to make Biafra to become a failed state for the second time again. That is one thing you must know. So, my people, I want to, okay, lovely, thank you so much. Olechiri, thank you so much for coming. Please subscribe if you never did on the page. We are waiting for our 10 likes so we can go all into what we have this morning with Biafran people to know. We we call on Vicar to come and see how many countries that have conducted self-referendum within themselves before they get official declaration, or even with the no official declaration to them. Somebody who knows Vicar to tag him, that Vicar on social media and be making mockery of themselves. That is the problem we are facing. Or people are too cheap, or people are they claim they know when they know nothing. The way you come out talking about Gentile, condemning him, no matter what we are doing, is it how the Fulanese, is it how the Caliphate are condemning Boko Haram and insurgencies that happen in Nigeria? And you bring your mouth to self-referendum. Come, let us show you over 50 countries who conducted self-referendum before they went fully into their declaration, before they become a state. And some those who only the self-referendum vote they conducted by themselves, they use it and become a country today, like Kosovo. And even Australia you mentioned. Come and see over 50 countries that have done what we are doing right now. What we have done and how they use their own. That is where they see. The only way you see our people is to come in to condemn one another. That is where we are perfect. That is only way. That is why our problem are still lingering every blessed day. If you go on the internet, they will tell you that IPOB did not recognize the declaration of University of Biafra. That is a scam. That is the word. That is the one that the Nigerian government carry very fast and store it in YouTube. Evil things is what we people are very smart to accept into the life that we are living. Yes, my people, we must stand strong. We must stand strong. We must stand strong. Peter Obi is a scam. Peter Obi is coming again. Watch out. Even many of them who is in another platform will disappear. Even many of them who is in our platform will disappear. Are you among those who are going to disappear because of coming of Peter Obi? That is my question to you. Then what do you want? Somebody wrote to me on my WhatsApp that say, oh, if Atiku has stepped down for Peter Obi, that means Nigeria is being reintegrated. Imagine a Biafran who can he want this freedom. Well, I know there's those who are even supporting the freedom without their mind. It is true, you know that if it is true, you know that you know they have renewed one Nigeria. Coming of Peter Obi cannot renew one Nigeria. It cannot. Rather, Peter Obi will bring more distraction, more destroying to Nigeria. Believe you me, that is what you will see. That's what will happen. That's why I told you that the Biafran people must stand strong. Yes, thank you, my brother Ogolu. Thank you so much for coming. You are welcome on this platform once again. As I welcome you, please welcoming others by sharing the program, even on your Facebook page, on your S handle, on your Instagram, on your Telegram. Please do that. Do that for me. It's going to help me. It's going to help the platform to grow, and also for people to hear what we're discussing this morning. In the other way around, Vicar, we want someone to tag Vicar for us. Those who has this contact to tag the so-called Vicar, who is in America, who his identity is America. I live in America. Once they tell you I live in America, you think they have common sense. They lack common sense because of eating of burger. They don't have it. You come, you rush, you come outside, you will talk about referendum. That is self-referendum of a people that want their outright, people that they said, we don't want Nigeria. It's their right for that. It's their right. You want to start by making a solution under international law. If a people even ever have a right to say that they want a new country, that's where we will start. Then from there, we go into the self-referendum vote. Or no, let us start so people that may listen in the first place may see what we have achieved, how we come across the self-referendum vote. What does it mean? And how many countries who has also been in the past, or even of recent of this our first century, those countries have done that also. Because our people are very, very sluggish. Our people are very foolish. Even no matter how complex it is, we have the right of self-referendum. Self-referendum is an evidence of the people that there is a permanent population who want a new country. And everybody must not want the same thing we want. Everybody at the same time are not going to accept what you want. Even in your family, sometimes you disagree with your brother and your father. It's also, that is how those people did not reason. They will just come and talk social media. You are the new face saboteur we have this time around. Bring it on. What are those who have started it? Yes, like I said, before I go into this program, I want to play a video of a reverend father, like Vicar, who claims he's a reverend father. I don't know whether he's fathering or not. What the Fulanis did to him of recent. No news will show you that. And you who are against the government, I will that one day this video will be your portion. Sorry, my people, I want to bring it out. See this video. Vicar, this is a Reverend Father like you. Do you hear it? Look at what the Fulanis are doing to the Reverend Father. An Igbo man for that matter, a Biafran for that matter. If you talk to this man about Biafra for a second, come and get away from here. That is how this. Look at what he's facing today. Look at it clearly. Look at it. Okay.
Oh God, please.
You see it? This is the Reverend Father. Is it gentle is doing this, Vicar? Is it Biafran people are doing this, Vicar? Look at it. Look at it. Vicar, let me play it again. Vicar, before I play, I want to ask you: is it Ngozi Arabeze is doing this? Is it gentle is doing this? Is it Biafran? Is it in Biafran? This one is happening? Vicar, is it Biafran is doing this? Look at what Fulanis are doing to the Reverend Father. They kidnap him. When you see him shouting, please, it's because they said they sent money. The people said they did not see any money. That is why they are hitting him. After that, they post it out. You will know such a video. May this be your portion, so you may understand that the one Nigeria that paying you and sponsoring you will be your end, Vicar. You are bringing them out to the government. But I am happy to show you your ugly face because I remembered you very well in terms of my Simon on Eber. Bring us your evidence. It doesn't stop, it doesn't move anything. A declaration is what people don't know, that our official declaration has condemned any video, anything you want to, because it happens when we are not a country. Now we are a country, he becomes a prime minister, Mazaka becomes the president. This is what changed their status. So they're no longer on that area you are looking at them. You rush them outside because these days you are condemning gentle. What are you doing on your own? Look at the Reverend Father. Look at no one here. When I'm here, or gentle money here. Enugia $20,000. Fools, idiots, mugus everywhere. Look at it.
Oh God, please now, please.
Vicar, urgent to name here. They will not every day. Even though, yes, what just is not good. But do you see Fulanis? Do you see Caliphate condemning their own? It's only on us that we come to social media condemn our people. Look at how an elderly man is crying. Look at it.
Oh God, please.
Look at it here. See it. A Reverend Father, see him. He's begging.
Oh God,
has this we are paying $20 million. Can demand or gentle Nehemiah Vicar. Most Igbo foolish people. Ndị Igbo kwe na so unu ewu Vicar ewu ị na-ewetara United States of Biafra ọnụ. Ị na-akọ about self referendum. Ị na-agwara atọrọ gị onye iberibe. Ị na-ebere ịgwara atọrọ social media. But the enemy has sent you to come. Come, we're waiting for you. Bring all your evidence, come. We have some to use to debunk it. Because Adre Janyoma are fighting for a new country. You don't know? Gini ki no the America no kedin here Junior Maduta King Gimre from the America. Didn't give American except coming to them to come and talk trash. When you go, maybe you are no longer seeing money. You show your ugly head. Sabotage of our time. All of you must come outside. All of you must come outside. This is the Reverend Father. Look at the way they are flogging him. Look at what they are doing to him. Who are doing this in Fulani? You see their dress, you see everything. Is he gentle? Is he a people that are doing it? You people we be prognosing because of envy and jealousness. I remember you when you were preaching about Biafra. I remember they just give you one warning, you stay away. And today you are coming out to come and talk trash. That's my question to you. The way you are condemning Gentile, is it the same way that Fulanese are condemning those that are doing this? It's only on our people that was meant to condemn their own. Once you condemn your own, you got relevant to Nigeria government. They don't want to hear. But you never know how serious we are in this quest, in this movement that we are into. You never know. If you know, you would have not realized you would have not realized
that our enemies are numerous, and they will do everything they can within their powers, both morally and immorally, to try to dissuade us, to try to get us not to pursue that which we have been born to do, which is to restore Biafra, nothing more, nothing less. Not to own mansions, not to own flashy cars, not to own choice properties in the busiest and the biggest cities you have in the zoo. We have not come to do any of that. We have not come to serve the Janjaweed. We have not come to serve Alamajiri. We have not come to bow before any of them. We have not come that we may become frightened of what they may or may not be capable of doing. We have come to do that which is right before man on this earth and to go come and bring him in heaven. That is why we must prevail. It doesn't matter what they do. Regardless of what they do, we must prevail. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are there.
I hope
it is very, very shocking that some of you do not.
I hope we all had this. Vicar, this is only why we what we are in this world to do, to restore Biafra. For a savior, for every black man. For a savior for all Africa. Is what we are restoring. The savior of Africa. Regardless of what you are doing, you cannot stop this movement. Because all of you plan to stop Mass Nadekan, you could not. You plan to stop Mass Simon, but you could not. Now, what happened today? You have come against the government. You people never understand the meaning of this, our self-referendum document and our official declaration. You don't know it. You don't know what it means. That is why all of you are fool. Working for the enemies, working for Janjaweed. We say we're not going to work for them. That we are paid master. We are not working for them, Vicar. Vicar. We are not working for them. Because they have paid you to come outside. You have been speaking, we have been seeing your program, but refuse to talk about it. But now that you have bring yourself out as an enemy, we must talk about you. We must talk about you. Because I bring your ugly face out. And my question is, the way what is happening to this Reverend Father here? Who is doing it? Is it God or a person? Is it because of self-referendum? That is what they are doing. They are doing that to him. You see, all of you who want to make Biafra a first state, it shall never be well with all of you. We are not asking you to not be a one Nigeria. No, allow us with what we are planning. Allow us on our own movement. Must you talk about the Biafra, the old Biafra Liberation Army? Must you talk about it? Why not talk about other things? Look at the way Fulanese are kidnapping your fellow Reverend Father. Why are you not preaching about this, Vicar? To ask Nigeria to stop this Fulanese. It's only when you come and condemn your own. That is when you become a normal human being. That is when you become important. That is when you get relevant from Nigerian government. But go and serve zoo, you will come back in shame. Go back and serve them. You will come back. I am in America. Who cares? The Americans did not fight brutal internal cold war before they become who they are today. All of you have joined hands to fight us as internal war that we are fighting for. South America and North South America, they all fought a cold, brutal war before you will see America standing up today. Which one are you doing, Vicar? To condemn your own. That is all you care for. That is what you. If they buy him, I'm not happy for that. But open your stinking, rubbish, white gutter mouth to talk in that manner. What are you insinuating? To make him a bad person. And why you become a good person? Judas of our time. Rebels everywhere. Liars, deceivers, hijackers. But we stop all of you on arrival, because if you will really understand, go and ask your Vicar the importance of a declaration of a new country and the importance of self-referendum before the declaration of a new country. That is why we must do what we are doing. I told you. Remember the code on this platform. Hashtag Nigeria government / Britain. Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the president of United States of Biafra. Hashtag Finland government. Free Mazi Simon Ekpa, the prime minister of United States of Biafra. These are the code that we have to be using on our comment section to on our hashtag. You know, when people do not understand what we are doing, they will just jump out and start making noise. And the thought that is all about making on social media. The government has said, we are not talking anymore. We are going to be taking action. And that is how you know a true government. Yes, self-referendum may not be only the way. Yes. But there is important rule. There is what self-referendum stands for. And there is what you can do into what we are looking for this time around. And why you have done that? Many countries have done it in the past. Over 50 countries have had self-referendum before what? Before their official country becoming a new country, or before their declaration of their new country. There is process, and the Biafran people has met all this process. Oba Tobi understand it very well. That is why he prepared everything. A permanent population of people agreed to have a self-referendum vote before declaration of independence for a new country. Under international law, do they have the right? That's what Jovika could have asked. Jovika, this is what you could have asked. A self-referendum before having a new country. This is the question you could have asked. And they will give you a real answer. Not that cock and bull story you come after. You cannot even explain it to us. My people, thank you so much. I have taken more of our time for do my prayer, but because of how it is, a lot of things are boiling up. So we must address them according to how they are coming in. So listen now, pick up your pen and your paper. I'll be just some things down because we are in right now to do the justice to Jovika and his rubbish garbage to reply him. This is my reply to Jovika.
Yes, under international law, a permanent population of people has the right to self-determination, and a referendum is widely considered the most legitimate and democratic mechanism to exercise this right before a declaration of independence. However, the question of whether they have the legal right to secede and form a new country is one of the most complex and contested areas of international law. Here is a breakdown of the legal principles. 1. The right to self-determination, the foundation. The right exists. The right to self-determination is a fundamental principle of international law, enshrined in Article 1 of the UN Charter and Common Article 1 of the two major human rights treaties, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, ICESCR. All peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social and cultural development. Defining peoples, the identity of the group that constitutes a people and is entitled to this right, is often disputed. However, having a permanent population in a defined territory is a basic element of statehood, as outlined in the Montevideo Convention. 2. The role of the referendum, not a legal requirement, but a political imperative. International law does not explicitly mandate a referendum for all declarations of independence. Historically, many countries gained independence without one. The legitimate mechanism. The United Nations and international bodies consistently hold that the exercise of self-determination should be the result of the freely expressed wishes of the territory's peoples, having been expressed through informed and democratic processes. A free and fair referendum, or plebiscite, is the strongest and most accepted way to demonstrate these freely expressed wishes. and to confer political legitimacy on a declaration of independence. 3. The distinction, external versus internal self-determination. The crucial legal hurdle depends on the context. Context, legal status of secession, external self-determination, decolonization, strong right to independence. A clear and uncontested right exists for peoples in non-self-governing territories, colonies, to secede and form an independent state. The UN strongly supports a referendum in these cases, e.g., South Sudan, East Timor. Internal self-determination, secession from an existing state, highly contested. The remedial right. The prevailing view in international law is that the right to self-determination for a people within a sovereign state is primarily a right to internal autonomy, like regional self-government, political representation, and human rights protection. Secession, external self-determination, is generally not permitted if the existing state is a democratic government that represents the people of the territory without discrimination or severe oppression. Secession is generally only considered a legal option, the remedial right, when a people is systemically denied its right to internal self-determination, subjected to widespread human rights violations, or is under foreign occupation. Conclusion. If a permanent population agrees to hold a self-referendum, they are taking the most legitimate and effective political step to exercise their right to self-determination. However, the ultimate legal right to declare independence and be recognized hinges on 1. Context. Is this a case of decolonization, or is it secession from an existing, internationally recognized state? 2. Effective control. Can the new entity demonstrate the fundamental elements of statehood, permanent population, defined territory, and effective government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states? 3. Recognition. The ultimate political and legal reality is that a new country's independence is secured by recognition from a sufficient number of other sovereign states and acceptance into international organizations like the United Nations.
I hope we all had it clearly, but I'm going to play it again before I will start my analysis this morning to explain this to Vicar.
Yes, under international law, a permanent population of people has the right to self-determination, and a referendum is widely considered the most legitimate and democratic mechanism to exercise this right before a declaration of independence. However, the question of whether they have the legal right to secede and form a new country is one of the most complex and contested areas of international law. Here is a breakdown of the legal principles. 1. The right to self-determination, the foundation. The right exists. The right to self-determination is a fundamental principle of international law, enshrined in Article 1 of the UN Charter and Common Article 1 of the two major human rights treaties. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, ICESCR. All peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social and cultural development. Defining peoples, the identity of the group that constitutes a people and is entitled to this right is often disputed. However, having a permanent population in a defined territory is a basic element of statehood, as outlined in the Montevideo Convention. 2. The role of the referendum, not a legal requirement, but a political imperative. International law does not explicitly mandate a referendum for all declarations of independence. Historically, many countries gained independence without one. The legitimate mechanism. The United Nations and international bodies consistently hold that the exercise of self-determination should be the result of the freely expressed wishes of the territory's peoples, having been expressed through informed and democratic processes. A free and fair referendum, or plebiscite, is the strongest and most accepted way to demonstrate these freely expressed wishes, and to confer political legitimacy on a declaration of independence. 3. The distinction, external versus internal self-determination. The crucial legal hurdle depends on the context. Context, legal status of secession, external self-determination, decolonization, strong right to independence. A clear and uncontested right exists for peoples in non-self-governing territories, colonies, to secede and form an independent state. The UN strongly supports a referendum in these cases, e.g., South Sudan, East Timor. Internal self-determination, secession from an existing state, highly contested. The remedial right. The prevailing view in international law is that the right to self-determination for a people within a sovereign state is primarily a right to internal autonomy, like regional self-government, political representation, and human rights protection. Secession, External self-determination is generally not permitted if the existing state is a democratic government that represents the people of the territory without discrimination or severe oppression. Secession is generally only considered a legal option, the remedial right, when a people is systemically denied its right to internal self-determination, subjected to widespread human rights violations, or is under foreign occupation. Conclusion. If a permanent population agrees to hold a self-referendum, they are taking the most legitimate and effective political step to exercise their right to self-determination. However, the ultimate legal right to declare independence and be recognized hinges on 1. Context. Is this a case of decolonization, or is it secession from an existing, internationally recognized state? 2. Effective control. Can the new entity demonstrate the fundamental elements of statehood, permanent population, defined territory, and effective government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states? 3. Recognition. The ultimate political and legal reality is that a new country's independence is secured by recognition from a sufficient number of other sovereign states and acceptance into international organizations like the United Nations.
I know why I am repeating playing this, because I want Vicar to listen to the English very well. For the last time, I will play it before. So in case if any of us want to record the voice and send out, and this is why it's important sometimes you record it and send out, so it may be an eye-opener. It may clean people's conscience also. And this is why it is very important in what we are doing for you to understand it very well. The path that we have choose to explain all these international laws. So for the last time, I am playing, so I want people to record this, send it out, because you don't know who will share it. Vicar will had it. He will hear it. Remember, a permanent population of people agree to have a self-referendum vote before official declaration of independence for a new country. Under international law, do they have the right to conduct a self-referendum vote before the country will merge? And what does that referendum stand for? Listen.
Yes, under international law, a permanent population of people has the right to self-determination, and a referendum is widely considered the most legitimate and democratic mechanism to exercise this right before a declaration of independence. However, the question of whether they have the legal right to secede and form a new country is one of the most complex and contested areas of international law. Here is a breakdown of the legal principles. 1. The right to self-determination, the foundation. The right exists. The right to self-determination is a fundamental principle of international law, enshrined in Article 1 of the UN Charter and Common Article 1 of the two major human rights treaties, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, ICESCR. All peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social and cultural development. Defining peoples, the identity of the group that constitutes a people and is entitled to this right is often disputed. However, having a permanent population in a defined territory is a basic element of statehood, as outlined in the Montevideo Convention. 2. The role of the referendum, not a legal requirement, but a political imperative. International law does not explicitly mandate a referendum for all declarations of independence. Historically, many countries gained independence without one. The legitimate mechanism. The United Nations and international bodies consistently hold that the exercise of self-determination should be the result of the freely expressed wishes of the territory's peoples, having been expressed through informed and democratic processes. A free and fair referendum, or plebiscite, is the strongest and most accepted way to demonstrate these freely expressed wishes and to confer political legitimacy on a declaration of independence. 3. The distinction, external versus internal self-determination. The crucial legal hurdle depends on the context. Context, legal status of secession, external self-determination, decolonization, strong right to independence. A clear and uncontested right exists for peoples in non-self-governing territories, colonies, to secede and form an independent state. The UN strongly supports a referendum in these cases, e.g., South Sudan, East Timor. Internal self-determination, secession from an existing state, highly contested. The remedial right. The prevailing view in international law is that the right to self-determination for a people within a sovereign state is primarily a right to internal autonomy, like regional self-government, political representation, and human rights protection. Secession, external self-determination, is generally not permitted if the existing state is a democratic government that represents the people of the territory without discrimination or severe oppression. Secession is generally only considered a legal option, the remedial right, when a people is systemically denied its right to internal self-determination, subjected to widespread human rights violations, or is under foreign occupation. Conclusion. If a permanent population agrees to hold a self-referendum, they are taking the most legitimate and effective political step to exercise their right to self-determination. However, the ultimate legal right to declare independence and be recognized hinges on 1. Context. Is this a case of decolonization, or is it secession from an existing, internationally recognized state? 2. Effective control. Can the new entity demonstrate the fundamental elements of statehood, permanent population, defined territory, and effective government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states? 3. Recognition. The ultimate political and legal reality is that a new country's independence is secured by recognition from a sufficient number of other sovereign states and acceptance into international organizations like the United Nations.
My people, I hope we have all listened to this for the third time. So it's a time to play and pause to do analysis on how it concerns the Biafra people. We are calling on Vicar. Please, anybody who knows Vicar to attack him to come. That is why we take our time to get this document to present to Vicar. Because he doesn't know where we are. And he claims he lives in America. Living in America is the certificate of having all the wisdom in the world. Fool. Let's continue.
Yes, under international law, a permanent population of people has the right to self-determination, and a referendum is widely considered the most legitimate and democratic mechanism to exercise this right before a declaration of independence.
I hope you listen to this. Hasigna under international law, yes. People of Biafra that have a permanent population in the homeland, in abroad, in anywhere in the world we are, that we have the right for self-determination and the self-referendum vote. They said is widely considered the most legitimate and the democratic mechanism. About to be Man Simon, our Prime Minister, Man Simon, understanding this area. Daniel, you are welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Obatobia, our Prime Minister, understand this aspect. If people, if a group has a right under international law to make a self-referendum or self-determination, after that, the only thing we are going to do more to research about to find out is what is the difference between self-determination and the referendum vote, and why they say that it's widely considered as the most legitimate and the democratic machine for a group who wants a new country. They said before the existing of the new declared independent country, that they have a self-referendum that is one of the most Vicar or Vicar. What is actually your name? What have you called the American man? People has the right to do that. And they, under international law, they consider it as the they said is one of the legitimate and the democratic machine for a new country for a social group to showcase that they want a new nation is their right. What we did, that we are talking trash about it. What you did. There's kind of question you ask to get a real answer. And it takes time to think the question you will ask before you can be able to get a real answer. I wish you know this. You could have not come out and showcase your stupidity. But because you want to prove to Biafran people that Vicar is an enemy in the house, those that are causing internal conflict. That is who Vicar is. Yes, under international law, a permanent population of people has the right to self-determination, and a referendum is widely considered the most legitimate and the democratic mechanism to exercise this right before a declaration of independence of a new country. Let's continue.
However, the question of whether they have the legal right to secede and form a new country is one of the most complex and contested areas of international law. Here is a breakdown of the legal principles. 1. The right to self-determination, the foundation. The
right of self-determination, the foundation of that the Biafran people want a new nation, is laying a foundation. The determination, the self-determination, it is the foundation that people want a new nation. The right to exist. Let's continue.
Right exists. The right to self-determination is a fundamental principle of international law.
The right of a self-determination is a fundamental principle of international law. A right of self-determination, a right of self-referendum vote, they are fundamental principle under international law. Which law is that?
Defined in Article 1 of the UN Charter and Common Article 1 of the two major human rights treaties.
Now, they are giving us the law. Enshrined in Article 1 of the UN Charter and the Common Article of one of the two major human rights treaties, which are Geneva Convention, Montevideo Convention, they work hand in hand with UN Charter. These three, and even the Vienna Convention, 1978, they are all working in the favor. They all outline what it means to have a new country and the process. The process of it is what to believe in self-determination and self-referendum before a declaration of a new country. In this Article of 1 of UN Charter, give every right to people also to govern themselves, people to choose their right. That is how also in Vicar village where he came from, there is a time they have one autonomy or one kindred head. At a time by now, Vicar, your village, are they still on that one kindred? Or that one state, are they still there? Or that one street, are they still there? If there is a right to have a new street, if there is a right for people to have a self-referendum vote, that they said here that is a fundamental right mechanism that was legitimate for people to prove what they want. This is what it is. Professor AJ, good morning. Ogonaya, good morning from here. I see all of you in the comment section. Thank you so much. Vicar, hope somebody should tag Vicar for us, so for him to come and listen what international law says about people who conduct self-referendum before their vote. They say that it's one of the fundamental principles that is a mechanism that is very, very legit to achieve a new country. Many countries have done that. Many did not go through that process, but over 50 countries in the world has done that in the past. Our own is why our own, why our people are so stupid and gullible. Enemies here and there. Mazdan cannot say that all the enemies will show their ugly head, and that is one of them. Vicar, or whatever he called himself, claiming he's living in America, who don't know what America passed through before they build America, and he can travel to America and come out there and be talking rubbish on social media. Anybody who is in America, who is against our self-referendum, who is our self-determination, who is against the declaration, he is, even time when America was trying to create their own country, he could have been against those who don't want America to have a new country, to become a new nation, that are today, everybody are running into, including Vicar. You could have turned to Ifajuna, if he's from America. He could have turned to the red Finland people, who refused the declaration of independence of Finland, and who never want Finland to become a new country. That is where the Vicar fall. Vicar being an African man, being a Biafran, who is against declaration, who is against self-determination, who is against self-referendum vote, means he's an enemy. If Vicar was among all these white country people who fought brutal war for their independence, if Vicar was an India when Magandhi is fighting for India freedom, he will turn against Magandhi and his free and the movement. If Vicar is from Bangladesh, when Rahman of Bangladesh in 1971 is fighting for Bangladesh to be a new country, he could be among those who had the freedom of his people. That is where he falls. If Vicar is here when Junior Martin Luther King is fighting for American independence, he will turn against it. He will be among those who fought against America having a new nation. That is where the Vicar fall. In this world that we are into, despite that the law of having a new country almost favors the old country, because even those who are putting the law, they are afraid of what they are putting into the law to happen in their own country. That is why everything is complex. Everything is like this. You won't see them go straight. That is why the coming of Biafra as a new country will change. There will be a totally overhaul of all the laws of the world, because they are not being fair to the people. When you are running a democracy, how could you not allow the law of the Nuremberg Convention and all these laws did not give people a free right to have their own government with the way they want it? When you thought they would say this existing country is interfering into affairs of another country, all these things are cock-and-bull stories. They used to deceive people. The world are corrupt. Black people are corrupt. The white people are corrupt. That is why things are not going normal anymore. Things are changing from good to bad. What their forefathers has kept down, the present people living right now is destroying everything. Vicar, come and listen. Let's continue.
The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, ICESCR.
Are you hearing it? There is a lot of many laws that are support what we are doing. The International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, and the International Covenant of Economy, Social and Cultural Rights, ICESCR. All these things are part of the law that supported the self-referendum vote and self-determination of people gathering together to have a new country. Something must lead to something. That is what he's telling us here. Something must lead to something for you to have a new country. This is a criteria. These are the things that are triggering. And these are the things that they say that is legitimate It's legit. That is, it's legit to do it in this way. That is how the legal is all about. And the legal will take it 2 times on it, but despite using all the multiple dimension, because that thing that work for a white man will not work for a black man. That is one thing that's outstanding. If Martin Luther King got American independence from Britain in peaceful way, because they know the value of life, they have respect of life. But the African people, the Nigeria company did not have a respect of life of human being. That is why they are buying people every day in Nigeria, every day. The day of Nigeria claiming that October 1st was the independence, Fulani, the Boko Haram are busy slaughtering people. That particular day, they killed people in Benue, in Boronu, all these places. Imagine such a thing. This is what you call a country. That is why Biafran people are opting out from such a country who harvest human organs. A lot of things are happening. Remember the code on the platform, hashtag, you can see from Jennifer, hashtag Nigeria and Britain government free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, a prisoner of conscience, the president of the United States of Biafra. Honestly, yes. Joel, a brother, we are chatting from. That is why the only way we can find a free system is depending on this new country that was just declared on November 29, 2024. Okay, Florida, thank you so much. The only free way is we, the people that are living, try to make a difference, no matter how hard it is. And because of the people who are living now does not want to go in a hard way in everything. That is why we remain where we are, until we take it hard. That is why the Biafran people stood up on November 29, 2024, make a declaration of a new country after we have met all the criteria of Montevideo Convention 1933. We have met the criteria of Geneva Convention 1949. We met the criteria of Vienna Convention 1978. We met UN Charter Articles criteria. We have met all these. But they keep down, they keep quiet, because the Biafra is going to be an eye-opener to every country in the world, how law is supposed to work. That is how that's what we are into. That is why the Biafra has stood up. And we said, we look at Nigeria today on a high esteem of killing people day in, day out. When you say the truth, YouTube will brought your page down. If no freeware. People are not free. We need a free system. The free system belongs in the hands of the United States of Biafra recognition. Once it merges, all the laws of the world will submit under amendment. They will push to review every law of international law to set people free. The international law cage every human being. They just give a little narrow escape. Before they will walk towards that narrow escape, a lot of things has been damaged. Because if there is a principle, if there is a law, what happened between Ukraine and Russia could have not happened. If there is a law, what people are passing through today, they will not pass through. Because of people want a free nation, they become enemy of the whole entire world. The way that a child has a right after 18 years, that you have a right to decide what you want. It could have been the same way to every country in the world, that a country might be together. Some people find it after some years that they are no longer liking what is going on here, that they want a change, and when those changes are not coming, they want to become a free nation. That is how it's supposed to be. But those who made this law, like people like America, they are afraid of the law of America breaking into two, having another country in America. They are afraid also, because they want to be the one to be in control of every human being, of every life. That is why there is no free system in the world. There is no free system, but people will fight to have this free system, because if we did not fight for it, it will never come. It will never stand. That is why the people of Biafra realize that the free system is in the hand of the people of Biafra. And that is why we stood up and have declared we value human rights so much. We are peaceful people. We are loving people. We are abiding people on any law where we find ourselves. Despite the bad S, you know that you cannot do without the bad S. International law covenants are of economy. All these things are important. Nigeria economy is useless. Social culture of Nigeria is useless. That is why Biafran people, we value our culture. That is why we want to divide ourselves in our tribal line, so we can be able to make a correction of can be able to make use of our culture's value, economic value, and all. Like the Biafran people who has all it takes. We have every mineral resources in Biafra land. And we said, more of something like oil, we are going to give the oil free to the world, anyone who wants it, free of charge. That is why we are seeking for recognition, because we have what it takes to be a country. Contact United States of Biafra government. Search for them online. You will see United States of Biafra government, led by Dr. Ngozi Arabueze, who live in America. She is the one piloting the affair of the Biafran people right now, as Biafra has become a country. Because a declaration made it officially. After declaration, it now become a sovereign state. And that is where we are. So nobody will stop us this time around. Despite all the enemies, despite all the quakings of the enemies, despite all what they are cooking, we stand strong. We will never allow Biafra to become a failed state again, because it has happened in 1967 to 1970. That is what we are fighting for. And it's not going to happen anymore. Let's continue under this international law. All people have rights, have the right of self-determination by the virtue of their rights that to freely determine their political status and they freely pursue their economy, social and cultural development.
All peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development.
Yes.
Defining people.
When we have our own nation, that is our right, with our self-determination, with our self-referendum votes, with our official declaration, with all the grievances, with all the things that we have achieved, when we have it, then we can go down to how we can be able to make the Biafra economy one of the best in the world. That is why this time around, our currency, our one ejema is equal to $1. You know, before we use pounds, so after the time of Ojukwu, but we look at the one that everybody can use, and we maintain a standard of one ejema equal to $1. To make that the economy is stable, then we can take care of our social and the cultural value development. These are why we are doing what we are doing. We are not just doing it. But thank the Vicar, come and hear all this. Yes, we think more than responsibility of a citizen, more than the light. That's what is happening here. The people, the world are no longer thinking about the right thing. They think only what will please the citizens. And not even all of them. Like Nigeria as a complex state are not thinking about the citizens. They only think about themselves. That is why there's more killings in Nigeria today. You can have it everywhere. It's all over in the world. You continue.
The identity of the group that constitutes a people and is entitled to this right is often disputed. However, having a permanent population in a defined territory is a basic element of statehood, as outlined in the Montevideo Convention.
Vicar, who never knew about this, come and listen. Come. Defining people. Even though they said the group that constituted a people and is entering into a right of often dispute. Despite that we are having problem with Nigeria, that Nigeria refused to recognize our declaration, Nigeria refused to leave our land. They call it dispute between us and Nigeria. Despite the dispute, that having a permanent population in a defined territory is a basic element of a statehood, is a basic element to become a new country. As outlined in the Montevideo Convention 1933. Vicar, have you come across the Montevideo Convention of 1983? Despite our problem, that we are not going to condemn our self-referendum vote, our right of self-determination to defend our life. So in all we are doing, there is principles. We need to have a defined territory. Despite the identified of the group that constituted a people and is elected to the right of often, despite the dispute that we are having with Nigeria, that we are a country on our own after our official declaration of this state of Biafra. These are part of it. They say that having a permanent population in a defined territory is a basic element of having a new country, to be a stakeholder, as it's outlined in the Montevideo Convention, that this is the level, that this is the criteria, this is the area we have to go. Yes, we declare a new country on November 29, 2024. Nigeria has never acknowledged it, even America also. But they said under this document that we are reading that those who are going to recognize that America are not going to be among, because the America are among the world power. So we understand where they stand for right now. So who is voting for Donald Trump to come and announce of Biafra? You are wasting your time. We must push to outside countries that are not 5 executive power of the UN.
2. The role of the referendum. Not only
Vicar, come now. Number 2, the role of the referendum that you are counting. There, yes, it's not the end, but there must where you will begin from. Whether even if it is not legal requirement, but when it is a political imperative, it is very important.
Legal requirement, but a political imperative. International law does not explicitly mandate a referendum for all declarations of independence. Historically, many countries gained independence without one. The legitimate mechanism, the United Nations and international...
No, let's come. They said here, the role of referendum, not a legal requirement, but a political imperative. International law does not execute a mandate of a referendum for all declaration of independence. Yes, the international law did not outline or give mandate or mandatory that before you become a nation that you must have a self-referendum. If you have that on your own, it's an applause to what you are doing, what you are protesting for, what you are looking for. This is what it is. The international did not mandate us to do that, but they said, but a political imperative. International law does not extremely mandate a referendum for all declaration of independence. For all these countries in the world today, there is no mandatory for them to go and do self-referendum first on their own. No. But they say if you did it, that it's a political imperative, that it is the right of the people to do that if they wish to do. And it's also a document to present to the world what makes them a permanent population. Our self-referendum with over 50 million votes, both in diaspora, in the homeland, they are evidence that we have a permanent population of people living in a defined territory that met in the Montevideo Convention criteria. Many countries generally independence without referendum. We did referendum, it becomes an abomination. What of when we did not do it? What of when we did not do it? What of if we did not do it? They will still talk about it. Now that we have achieved it, now we have done it. An Igbo man, for precisely is the one, Vicar living in America, is the one has gotten about it, talking trash without knowing what it's all about. Sorry? He don't know and he claims he knows it. That is who we are. We don't research. We just come out and start saying blah, 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 blah. That is it. So instead of us to take our time to learn about it. The legitimate machines of having a new country.
Bodies consistently hold that the exercise of self-determination should be the result of the freely expressed wishes of the territory's peoples, having been expressed through informed and democratic processes. A free and fair referendum, or plebiscite, is the strongest and most accepted way to demonstrate these freely expressed wishes and to confer political legitimacy on a declaration of independence.
Are you hearing it? That is why it is good when you are listening to this, listen to from the end to beginning, so you will get everything right and put all the document together. Because in the first place, they will give you what will scare you away. But when you go deep, you see, oh, so this is easy as like this. So it is a free something. The United Nations and international bodies holding that the exercise of self-determination should be the result of the freely expressed wish of the territory people have been inspired through informed and democratic process. A self-referendum vote, a self-determination. All these things are there. Juliet, good morning. You're welcome. Shalom, my sister. It is the right of people. Please, somebody should tag Vicar. That is why I put his name on my program today. I want this program to go so he may listen to this document. What self-referendum vote stand for? What is self-referendum vote? So you who are listening, so now you can understand how important it is and also what our vote of self-referendum proving to the world. With only that of over 50 million document of people voting for self-referendum that we want a new country. Is they call it here, they said it is a fundamental right and principle under United Nations Charter, under UN Charter. Article 1, Common Article 1 also. And they explain it to us. The self-referendum is a way, under political way, to prove that people want, they really want their nation. That is why we have over 50 million people voting. That is why. The United Nations Charter and the international bodies constantly hold the exercise of self-determination should be the result of the freely expressed wishes of the territory people, the Biafran people. We wish we did it on our own without gun and bullets. It's free and fair. People will queue on the line. They will vote yes, 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 yes. You know what happened? The video is everywhere. Vicar, the video is everywhere. You play a deaf ear and blind eyes as if you are not seeing, because it's against your plan working for the Nigerian government. And you know that Biafra coming will stop you from working in government. So the evil money you are collecting, you won't get it anymore. That is why you wear your ugly hair out. Go and serve Nigeria and come back in shame. Having been expressed through informed and the democratic process, a free and fair referendum or plebiscite is the strongest and the most accepted way to demonstrate the freely exposed wish and the confirmed political legitimacy on a declaration of independence. Charles Socialist has been long. My brother, are you okay? Where have you been? Hope you are good. Vicar, a free and fair referendum or plebiscite, the one that the Biafran conducted in their land, free and fair. That day, there is no police getting the ballot box. In Nigeria, there is a police every day, army, mopo, getting the ballot box. But for the Biafran people in our self-referendum, there was no police. It's well organized. The people of Biafra used their hand to organize it and participated on it freely. That's what's called a free and fair referendum or plebiscite. It is the strongest and the most accepted way to demonstrate the freely expressed wish and to confirm political legitimacy on a declaration of independence. Before declaration, people get to do a self-referendum vote to prove that they want a new country freely. And they said here that it is the legitimacy on a declaration of independence. It is the right of the people to do that. It is the right of the people to do that. We continue.
3. The distinction, external versus internal self-determination.
Now, between us and Nigeria, between us, that is when they sell external versus internal self-determination. Listen to this. Listen.
The crucial legal hurdle depends on the context. Context, legal status of secession. External self-determination.
I hope you are listening. Legal status of secession. Why the people have conducted a self-referendum vote and why they are opting out from Nigeria. External self-determination and decolonization. Our determination is to decolonize Nigeria, who are on top of us.
Decolonization. Strong right to independence. A clear and uncontested right exists for peoples in non-self-governing territories, colonies, to secede and form an independent state. The UN strongly supports a referendum in these cases, e.g., South Sudan, East Timor.
Yes. The one of South Sudan is an example, and East Timor. The area that you need to understand, they even did it on their own and presented it. When they presented, if the world, if the UN, if the Sudan refused to accept it, they will have to then somebody from the UN should be a mediator to conduct it again. That is what we are asking to the world. If you did not accept our self referendum vote that connected with over 50 million Biafrans, then call for it again, be a mediator. And they are shying away from it. They want Nigeria to wipe us away, but it cannot happen because God who lives in heaven said no to all the enemies who come to take us away. Strongest right to independence, the strongest right to lead to independence of a new country. A clear and unconstituted right existing for people in the non-self-governing territory like Nigeria. Colonization to succeed and form an independent state. Nigeria are the one colonizing the Biafran people. They reintegrate us back after 1967 to 1970 war. That's the decided war. But today, we said no. In these days where they integrate, do you hear that word? That they integrated us back. They bring us back to Nigeria, where we have left Nigeria. That is the work of, that is the evil work of this called Britain, the UK today. That is what they did to the Biafran people. They deceived Ojukwu. That man called Vicar is on social media making mockery of himself and think he's saying something. We the Biafran people, we see ourselves as people that Nigeria has colonized and suppressed us down. Under this international law of UN Charter Article 1, it said that the Biafran people has rights to seek for a new nation. They have right for self-determination. They have right to self-referendum vote. They give example of South Sudan. They give example of East Timor. These are countries in the world. Over 50 countries have self-referendum votes, and some did not have. Depend on how people describe how they want to rule their country and how they want everything to happen to them. Let's continue listening to the Constitution.
Internal self-determination, secession from an existing state, highly contested. The
Internal self-determination, successor from existing states. We, the Biafran people, we want to leave Nigeria, or we have already left Nigeria after our declaration on November 29, 2024. The Biafran people has did what? Internal self-determination of a secession from an existing state. This is UN Charter Article 1 is what we are reading. How we have our own internal self-reference, self-determination as those who are fighting, those who want a free country. And they said it's our right to ask for a free country or to a new country. It is the right of the people. Which people? The United States of Biafran people. It is our right. The only thing that will stop the killing in Biafra land, people dying, is what? Recognition of United States of Biafra as a sovereign state. The death of Biafra did not start from today. Before I was born, the Biafran people are dying every day. Before I was born, the Biafran people are dying. People are also dying in Benue because we are fighting for all ethnic groups that are in Nigeria. People are massacring in Castina, Niger. Go and check all these places. The only thing that will bring out, the only thing that will stop the killing is, and now that we have our self-referendum vote, our self-defense, our self-determination, our official declaration, now seeking for international recognition of United States of Biafra, be a free country, removing Nigerian military in our land and police is what the law said, what will stop the killing in Biafra land. And that is what the Biafra people are doing right now. That is why we are no longer under gun and bullet to seek for Biafra, but after our declaration, under the international laws, under all the criteria, the Biafran people has come down to go into political, diplomatic, and recognition to make the reconciliation, to make that we get the international recognition. That thing that makes Chukwuemeka to fail. There is only two things that are important and makes Chukwuemeka to fail. One, out of internet social media. Number two, that makes Chukwemeka to fail was there is no international recognition from countries that are member of the UN. But today, the Biafran government, led of Ngozi Orebeze, are peacefully, quietly said, we are now a full sovereign state after our declaration that we are going to achieve everything that remains in a peaceful way. That what we are going to do right now is what? Looking for recognition, sending our document to every country, and anyone who decides to go recognition must be a member of the UN, or even without that. Remember, in 1967 to 1970, Chukwemeka was recognized by 5 countries alone. Out of those 5 countries, by then, none of them was a member of the UN. Ivory Coast, Tanzania, Gabon, Mali, and other countries who recognize us, and also Tahiti, who recognize us, they are not a member of UN. That is only why Biafra failed to become a sovereign state in 1967 to 1970. If Biafra was a country from 1967 to this day, who is going to kill the Biafran people? We have been doing everything. We have been doing one thing from ever, time memorial. Now we have stepped to do another different thing. People are still not listening. They will come on comment section writing nonsense. They will leave what is happening in the ground. Before, they said the Master was the one killing our people. Before, they said the Master was the one killing. Now it's Ngozi Orebeze. That is how you see our people are senseless people, stupid people. My people, do not panic. We are already there. After our self-referendum vote, after our official declaration, every other thing are going through the normal process. Believe you me. We will not use gun and bullets to get Biafra. But we use international law recognition to fulfill every loophole and get what we are seeking for. That is one of the things that we all must understand. That is the area where we are now. We must continue.
Remedial right. The prevailing view in international law is that the right to self-determination for a people within a sovereign state is primarily a right to internal autonomy, like regional self-government, political representation, and human rights protection. Secession, external self-determination, is generally not permitted if the existing state is a democratic government that represents the people of the territory without discrimination or severe oppression. Secession is generally only considered a legal option, the remedial right, when a people is systemically denied its right to internal self-determination, subjected to widespread human rights violations, or is under foreign occupation. Conclusion. If a permanent population agrees to hold a
Yes, before we go to the conclusion, listen to this again. Let us analyze these particular areas that draw our attention. You know that when you are fighting for a new country, the name is the word organizes secession. That is the word that is the one that they recognize very well. Because the word use what they like to intimidate you. They would like to do what they will do, so you cannot be able to have a free mind to talk. They want to do something that when they do it, that hey, you that are fighting for that a new country will be afraid. That is one of the most important areas that we have to understand. That is why I'm calling on Vicar to come and listen and learn what international law is asking of, that is a right of people. A highly coordinated, the redeemed right is what? Under international law, that people has right to gather together to perform a self-referendum. Because of insecurity, because of they want a new country, because they want to be on their own. I said it's a right of self-determination for a people within a sovereign state is primarily a right of the people to seek for a new country, to showcase their willingly to support the movement of the new country. A secession external self-determination is generally, they said it's not permitted. But when you are listening from the beginning to now, then you will see what they say. Because they said that they see Nigeria as a sovereign state, as an existing state already. So they don't want to interfere. But when we continuously pushing and having our own self-referendum vote, continuously pushing, have the right of our self-determination, continuously on the legal of our official declaration, after all this, then they said, oh, that new country has right to become under international law. Once they get international recognition, they become a new country. Vicar. Secession is only considered a legal option. They redeem their rights when people systemically deny the old nation. The Biafran people today has denied being a Nigeria. That is why very soon you will see our passport everywhere. We have denied Nigeria. And when we denied it, that is when our self-referendum vote is important. When the people of the new country, or when the secession people have a self-referendum vote and deny the old country, they have their right for self-determination to subject their human rights valuation, that they have the right to occupy in a foreign land where they belong. And they ask Nigeria to leave because they are within our self-referendum vote of over 50 million. Nigeria is occupying a foreign state. This is international law. This is United Nations Charter, Article 1, common in Article 4 of it. Conclusion. In a parent population agree to hold self-referendum, they are taking the most legitimate and effective political step to exercise the right of self-determination. The self-referendum vote gives us a momentum, an effective political step to exercise the right of self-determination. That is why the Oba told Biama and Simon understand it and introduce the self-referendum vote that has over 50 million Biafrans to the right of the self-determination of having a new country.
Of referendum, they are taking the most legitimate and effective political step to exercise their right to self-determination. However, the ultimate legal right to declare independence and be recognized hinges on.
You hear that? However, the ultimate legal right to declare a new country dependency and be recognized hang on what? Listen.
1. Context. Is this a case of decolonization, or is it secession from an existing, internationally recognized state?
Now you will choose within your mind the one we follow on it. It is in the case of the decolonization, or is it secession from an existing international recognition state. Remember, no matter what we do, Nigeria is recognized under international law as an existing country. But do we have a right for us to move out? You will find out now. Listen.
2. Effective control. Can the new entity demonstrate the fundamental elements of statehood, permanent population, defined territory, and effective government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states?
Do you see? They are asking questions. Because you will see a arrow of question there, abbreviation of question. Effective control. Can the new entity demonstrate the fundamental element of statehood, a permanent population? That is why our self-referendum has answered this question. Our self-referendum prove to us that the Biafran people has met the criteria of a parent population. That is why we can be able to conduct up to 50 million votes that voted for Biafra to become a new country. Are you following? An effective government and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. These are the things that ask us to do. And we have overmet those criteria. That is why we are a sovereign state. With our self-referendum, do you see how important it is? And the things we will do for us to get our international recognition. I see you, Ijele Asatina. Good morning from here. Thank you so much for coming in. I see Joseph, the black African American. You're welcome. Nigeria, prayer cannot save Nigeria. No country has prayer has saved. What saves a country is how they plan themselves, is what saves a country. We are praying for Nigeria to be divided by all possible means. That's what we want. We Biafran people are already out from it. We are no longer in that enclave called Nigeria, that company called Nigeria. We have met these criteria. They ask us. Yes, the answer is yes. That they said that it's demonstrated the fundamental element of stakehood, a permanent population that voted over 50 million for self-referendum. We have defined territory. Those people who voted for this vote, they are in this territory of United States of Biafra. That is where they are before they voted, and those in abroad also. An effective government, you can see the government doing their job, not only the day of fundraising. That is why sometimes our government has to come and address us, not that day that we are doing the fundraising. Sometimes they have to address us in ordinary days, and they are doing that, and they are doing their job. By now, there is more important job. There is more important job to the United States of Biafra government they are doing. Submitting documents, seeing lobbyists, seeing congressmen to go and talk about Biafra problems is part of it. We must continue.
3. Recognition. The ultimate political and legal reality is that a new country's independence is secured by recognition from a sufficient number of other sovereign states and acceptance into international organizations like the United Nations.
I hope you had it. You can see, Vicar, the process of the self-referendum to lead to self-determination of the people. Recognition. The ultimate political and the legal reality is that the new country independence is secured by recognition from a significant numbers of other sovereign states and acceptance into international organizations like the United Nations. The process from the beginning to the end is what you have had. This is, we have met all these criteria. Now, the government is doing their job. The government is doing their work to get international recognition. That is what the government is doing. Under international law, you have seen our right of our self-referendum vote. Vicar, come and listen and learn how international law, what they said. And that is why, that is exactly, Oba told me Simon, carry out every criteria of international law. He carries it out. The same method that Ngozi Rabeze is also making it to happen in that the same way, more than the way it is before. The recognition is not going to be easy thing. But if you ask whether it will come, it will come. Some country gets their own after 2 years. Some get their own in 1 year. Some get their own after a year. And some get their own after 5 years. It doesn't stop us from being a new country. People like Kosovo, they are a country today with only self-referendum vote. That is why up to today, the United Nations has never even given recognition after declaring it on. Remember, the Kosovo country was declared after they did not declare, and they had their self-referendum vote in 2008. On 2008, they had a self-referendum. Till today, they are not a member of UN. Does it mean that they're not a country? The answer is no. When we go into many countries who has used the self-referendum to become a country, over 50 countries, without formal declaration, and that is why I told us Biafran people, we overmet those criteria. That's why the eyes, they are looking at us as a black people. That is the area that we must understand something. I see you, my brother. James, she goes, you're welcome. I see Chinedu, you're welcome, my brother. Thank you so much for being here. How is your side? The black people are greeting you also. You're welcome. So you know how we do it here? After I have played the voice, anybody who wants to call is free to call. When nobody call, we must go to second session. But listen to this as I play the video, as I play the voice, the document voice, so without saying a word. So if you want to record, you can record it.
Yes, under international law, a permanent population of people has the right to self-determination, and a referendum is widely considered the most legitimate and democratic mechanism to exercise this right before a declaration of independence. However, the question of whether they have the legal right to secede and form a new country is one of the most complex and contested areas of international law. Here is a breakdown of the legal principles. 1. The right to self-determination, the foundation. The right exists. The right to self-determination is a fundamental principle of international law, enshrined in Article 1 of the UN Charter and Common Article 1 of the two major human rights treaties, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, ICESCR. All peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social and cultural development. Defining peoples, the identity of the group that constitutes a people and is entitled to this right is often disputed. However, having a permanent population in a defined territory is a basic element of statehood, as outlined in the Montevideo Convention. 2. The role of the referendum, not a legal requirement, but a political imperative. International law does not explicitly mandate a referendum for all declarations of independence. Historically, many countries gained independence without one. The legitimate mechanism. The United Nations and international bodies consistently hold that the exercise of self-determination should be the result of the freely expressed wishes of the territory's peoples, having been expressed through informed and democratic processes. A free and fair referendum, or plebiscite, is the strongest and most accepted way to demonstrate these freely expressed wishes, and to confer political legitimacy on a declaration of independence. 3. The distinction, external versus internal self-determination. The crucial legal hurdle depends on the context. Context, legal status of secession. External self-determination, decolonization. Strong right to independence. A clear and uncontested right exists for peoples in non-self-governing territories, colonies, to secede and form an independent state. The UN strongly supports a referendum in these cases, e.g., South Sudan, East Timor. Internal self-determination, secession from an existing state. Highly contested, the remedial right. The prevailing view in international law is that the right to self-determination for a people within a sovereign state is primarily a right to internal autonomy, like regional self-government, political representation, and human rights protection. Secession, external self-determination, is generally not permitted if the existing state is a democratic government that represents the people of the territory without discrimination or severe oppression. Secession is generally only considered a legal option, the remedial right, when a people is systemically denied its right to internal self-determination, subjected to widespread human rights violations, or is under foreign occupation. Conclusion. If a permanent population agrees to hold a self-referendum, they are taking the most legitimate and effective political step to exercise their right to self-determination. However, the ultimate legal right to declare independence and be recognized hinges on 1. Context. Is this a case of decolonization, or is it secession from an existing, internationally recognized state? 2. Effective control. Can the new entity demonstrate the fundamental elements of statehood, permanent population, defined territory, and effective government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states? 3. Recognition. The ultimate political and legal reality is that a new country's independence is secured by recognition from a sufficient number of other sovereign states and acceptance into international organizations like the United Nations.
I hope you have listened to it. In this our first session is okay. Chinedu, I don't talk about Biafra Army on my YouTube page. The reason about that is personal. So you have listened to this. If you wish to call, you can call on number plus 973360513337. That is the number to call if you wish to call to submit your own what you think, your own suggestion on what we have discussed this morning. How we bring Vicar evidence to prove to him that he is an enemy, that is part of those bank accounts that all the enemies must rear their ugly head, and you see Vicar among them. It is okay that we are seeing them, they are coming out. If they understand the importance of declaration, they will not be messing up. If they understand the importance of this document of our self-referendum vote, they don't know. That is why. And they claim that when it's happening, they are not seeing. They all watching and seeing it koro in their own eyes. But because of their well-paid from Nigerian government, decided to play deaf ear and blind eyes and come out with their mouth and be talking. And the one somebody who knows something is talking and he deny what he knows, you will see his word sound like the word of enemies. That is who they are. The saboteurs, the fighters of our time. They are all coming out. But I thank God in this time around, we can be able to handle them the way it is. Remember to call on number plus 9733605137 if you want to call. That is the number you can call, my people. So to help to also submit your own opinion, what you think, what you can tell Vicar, who is making noise social media now, who is looking for Ikenga. Look at people he want to work with. He claims he's educated human being. Look at his level. These are those you want to work with. Ikenga and Udele. Because that is his. In fact, he has also produced those that he's been working, those that are feeding him with wrong information. That is the evidence of what he said. The evidence is that you're calling those guys' name, proving, this is those he's been working with. These are those who are giving wrong impression about Gento, who are feeding him with lies and propaganda. And he decided to join them. That is why he called their name without thinking about them. He's not silently going, because Chukwuka want to expose him. That this man, you are working with these people, trying to destroy our people. So that is why he come out on social media to open his gutter mouth to be talking trash about the government of United States of Biafra. Instead of supporting, instead of claiming that he's in America, instead of acting like Martin Luther King, who liberated his people, instead of acting like Maghandi of India, instead of acting like Nelson Mandela, instead of acting like Juha Kanyeheta, instead of acting like Rahman of Bangladesh, these are people who decided to fight for their people. What is he doing? His own is only to come and condemn those that are doing it well. And he cannot do anything. Nothing. Absolutely nothing he can offer. Except to go to social media, talk against his fellow people. That is only what Igbo, that is only Biafran people know how to do. To talk against their brother on social media. That's where you will see them. Nothing more than that. And that is the message that is going out. That's one. But you see this one we are doing, you will still feel people liking and sharing it. That is what I'm telling you. You will see only few people liking and sharing the program. People like where you can gossip, where you can destroy your brother. That is what we like too much to do. But for me, I told you it's a high time we stop and focus on the things that will get international attention on us, depending on what we are presenting in social media. They are killing the Biafran people. People are losing their life every day. Nigeria need to be divided so everybody can go their separate way. And you can watch it with those who believe in what you believe. It's also important. This also. So in everything that is happening, the Biafran people has choose to stand strong and maintain who we are as people of United States of Biafra. That is who we are. That is what we are going to be. So as we're waiting for the call, we are preparing for the next article. How many countries in the world have used self-referendum get their country? How many people? We must know also. So you may see a clear evidence. We must. Yeah, we have our first caller. Let us give the chance. Hello, good morning, man.
Morning.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I do follow you often, but most times when I follow you, I'm in Detroit while I go to work, so I couldn't go.
Okay.
So, my little submission about all this is that all this distraction is just for the faith-minded people. But those who knows what they want stand where they are. We are strong. We want Biafra, and Biafra we get. Biafra is already here, and no man on earth can stop it. So people, when you are going in a way and the way is so soft, you don't value it.
Yeah.
So what we are going through today is a hard way, and this will make us to value Biafra when we get Biafra. And this will make us to keep the value of our country, so that our country will not be like what we have today, that is so-called Nigeria.
Exactly.
So whatever people are doing, I see it as one of those things we have to go through to get to where we are. So my little advice for anyone who says he or she is a Biafran is to be strong. Stand where you are. We know where we are going, and we are already there. This is just my little submission. So it doesn't matter who is your Vicar, it doesn't matter who is Adocho or whoever. For me, they don't even exist.
Yes, sir.
So, and I want the two Biafrans to have this mind of sense. Bless you all.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. Thank you, ma. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Yes, it doesn't matter who is involved, but what matters most is how we are accomplishing what we are doing. That is what matters most. But we are doing this to prove to them that it's our right to do what we are doing. That is not just because people see that we are playing. People do not understand how other countries has fought and be where they are today. Ya ka ndị banya go n'okwu Igbo na a na-eme agwa nwata ihe eji abụọ ọgaranya ọsị mba ka ya ruo otu ọra. Agwa ndị mmadụ ihe eji nweta freedom ha sị gị no, let us remain where we are. That is what we are seeing today. This is exactly what we are seeing today. Onye ha gwara, hey, ọsị gị mba no, better ka m na-ekwu otu nsọ na-edu ka m achọ ọkwa. That is what we are passing through. But the Biafran people who understand, who loves their people that are suffering, the people that are killing by Nigeria, those that only our country will save all this life, both in Africa. Do you know that Africa dies because of Biafra is not existing? When Biafra exists, Africa resurrect again. Biafra will resurrect all the Africa, all the black men, and give them honor. That is why the world don't want it to come. You know it for sure. Or take it from me. Nobody will stop us. We're already in Biafra. People don't understand it. After a declaration, you become a sovereign state. No matter the dispute you are having with the existing Nigeria country also. Despite the dispute, the world knows that there must be a dispute. Why did they put that word dispute if they don't know? They know there is a time that the dispute will come in, and the dispute is what we are passing through right now. So we must conquer all these internal conflicts. All of them are internal conflicts. We will pass it and we will stand strong. That's why it's very important if the Biafran people decide to stand strong in everything that we are doing. Like I told you, we are moving. If call comes in, we pause, we will answer our call. Very, very important. So, my people, we must continue. We want to know some country. That's why I told you that what we are doing, we must do what other countries did before they get their independence. Our line is still opening in case you want to call to make a suggestion. You are free to call. You are free. We want to hear how some countries did their own. For those who are talking nonsense, social think they are saying a word. How many countries have self-referendum vote before the declaration of their independence for a new country? How many of them? There are many. You will hear it today. So you know that what we did is what others has been doing.
While a precise comprehensive number is difficult to determine due to variations in how referendum and independence are defined historically, especially in the context of decolonization, dozens of territories have held popular votes or referendums as a direct step toward or part of their independence process.
You hear it? This word decolonization, that is the one that meant fall on us. Because now we want to decolonize Nigeria for us to be a new country. They said is that this question is that the question is difficult to determine due to the verification of how referendum and independence are depend on historical spaces in the contents of decolonization. Many countries has do what we are doing today. Daga, for a very long time, where have you been? You're welcome. Our self-referendum votes. How many countries that have we find out this is the process they went through to get their new country. Listen.
Scholarly sources indicate that over 50 cases of independence referendums have been held globally. The use of
over 50 million self-referendum has been held globally before independence of a new country. You had it.
Referendums became a prominent, though not universal, tool for realizing the right to self-determination during the decolonization era after World War II, and in the dissolution of states like the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia.
Do you hear it? A country like Soviet Union and Yugoslavia, it is what? There is a self-referendum vote. The people organized before official declaration of their country, like what we did. You remember when we start our self-referendum vote, it took us almost going to 1 year or 6 months or thereabout. I stand to be corrected. Other countries have done it. Today, Yugoslavia, they're not a country. They are. Let us go deep and understand it.
Key examples of countries that voted for independence. The following list highlights successful cases where a formal, internationally recognized vote or referendum was a direct precursor to the Declaration of Independence. Region. Country, seceding independent. Parent state/entity. Year of referendum. Europe, Norway. Sweden, Norway. 1905. Iceland.
We take it little by little. The country that has used self-referendum vote, that have conducted self-referendum vote before their independence, before they said, before official declaration of their independence. That is the country they are calling us to hear right now. Oh God, this needs shifting. This phone is very small. I wish, well, it's okay. Please, my dear friend, people, I call on you. I still ask you to support me to get a gadget. And I also thank those who have been supporting already. I thank all of you who has been there helping to build this platform to the standard where we are for now. Now in everything, one thing I'm missing. Because this thing I'm reading has a 3-step. 1, 2, 3. The phone cannot allow me to prove the other one. But if it's a laptop now, you will put it on the screen. All of us can see it. And all of us can also read from there. Child. But let's continue. We are talking now, we are on the what? Country, succeeding independence, president, state entity. We are talking about Norway and Sweden in 1905. They did a self-referendum vote, like what the Biafran people did. They told you over 50 million votes. Let's continue. Then Iceland, Motra, Denmark in 1944. Hope you are following. Slovenia. Listen.
Denmark, 1944. Slovenia, Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, 1990. Estonia, Soviet Union, 1991. Latvia, Soviet Union, 1991. North Macedonia, Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, 1991. Montenegro, Serbia and Montenegro, 2006. Africa, Guinea, France, 1958. Algeria, France, 1962. Comoros, France, 1974. South Sudan, Sudan, 2011. Eritrea, Ethiopia, 1993. Asia and Oceania, Mongolia, China, 1945. Cambodia, France, 1955. Western Samoa, New Zealand, 1961. Singapore, Malaysia, 1962. Federated States of Micronesia, United States, Trust Territory, 1975. East Timor, Timor-Leste, Indonesia, UN sanctioned, 1999. Important distinctions in independence votes. 1. Negotiated versus...
I hope you have had all the countries that conducted self-referendum. Vicar, you have had all these countries today. Even in America, where you are, all of them, there is where they did their own. You have had it here. And also, for you to know, every country, there is from country they move out from. Why our own become a crime? Every country, even in Africa, South Sudan from Sudan, Algeria from France. Every country, there is a time the new country is the beginning is the question. There is a time they move out from one country to become their own country. Why our own becomes a crime within you and what you are thinking, Vicar? There is. Look at all the countries in the world. They're mentioning over 50 countries. Over. Even in Africa, they all fought for their freedom also. Today, if your country want to leave from Algeria, or so for Algeria move out from France, they're supposed to allow the other one to move. But because of the greediness that is in our head, we will not allow, because we want to be in charge of every human being. All these countries, we had them here. Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, Denmark, Slovenia, Federal Republic pick up and Yugoslavia, Estonia, Soviet Union. All these things are countries that live from one place to another. So when you see people doing their own, you become mad, you become crazy, because you want to continue eating the evil money that the government is paying you. That is all you care for. You claim you're in America. These are countries, how they get their own freedom, how they get their. I just want to told you, there was a time every country in the world becomes a new country. There is a formation, there is a criteria. You have had it here clearly. Countries that are new country, how they get their own freedoms and how they move. Important disintegration in independency vote. How can Biafra people do that? Negotiation.
Unilateral. Many successful referendums, particularly in modern times, like South Sudan and Montenegro, are the result of a negotiated agreement with the parent state. Others, like those in the former Soviet and Yugoslav republics, e.g. Estonia, Latvia, Slovenia, were held unilaterally but gained swift international recognition due to the political collapse of the parent state.
Do you hear it? There is a time self-referendum vote, particularly in this modern time. I work like people like South Sudan, people like Montenegro. What is our countries? Are the result of negotiation agreement. That is why the government told you that the Prime Minister of United States of Biafra always said that everything will end up in a round table. Negotiation is a round table. After you have self-referendum vote, it's proven to the state, to the occupier, to the decolonization war Nigeria that we have over 15 minutes. So what these people want to leave doesn't like us. Okay, let them go. It's part of it. It's part of it. It's not about men on every time, men on ground, men on. No. Men on ground will be there. But look at the aspect of other countries to do how they go. They go into negotiation. Our own are not going to be different because of we are not doing it since all this while the way other countries do their own. That is why we are getting problems now that the government has fallen back to do it, to take the place of other laws and other countries how they get their own. Why do you think that we will not get it? That is the time we will get it very fast, because we have gone back to the root of the other countries. We have gone back to the root of other countries how they get it. Now we have declared officially. This is one of the things must know. Obato was shouted after the declaration, there must be serious reconciliation. Did you not hear that from Obato? Did you tell that after the declaration, there must serious gun and bullets, even though it might be there to defend the land, because we must have our army and our police, and the Biafra government are taking care of all those ones very well. That is why we are not seeing them. The army of Biafra are not supposed to be on social media. They're not supposed to have page where they broadcast from. This is the truth of the matter because of what we are into. Do not be deceived, don't be panicked. As we are hearing all these names, even in Africa, even in Asia, even in Europe, Estonia, Levante, Slovenia, all these things are conducted self-referendum. With only self-referendum, they become a new country. With only that, they become a new country. Thousands of we that make official declaration. That's why I told her the Biafran people overmet the criteria that demanded from Montevideo Convention or Geneva Convention or Vienna Convention or UN Charter. We overmet. So that's what there must be recognition. Because we have passed all the process. 100% is what the mark will get on all of these things. That is why everywhere is calm. The government are doing the job.
2. Colonial mandates. Many countries in Africa and Asia achieved independence without a direct, local independence referendum. Instead, the administering colonial power often transferred power through parliamentary or legislative acts after a period of internal self-governance, which itself was a form of political self-determination. 3.
You had it here. Even many of some countries in Asia, in Africa, in Europe, they did not even conduct a local independence self-referendum, but they are a country. The rest of you that have the upper hand with the self-referendum vote. All these countries that we mentioned here today, they're part of EU. They're part of UN, sorry. But there's no official declaration, only official declaration, no self-referendum vote. So why we do all these things, that's what Batobi said, that we are going to get this Biafra we are looking for in a multiple dimension. That is why he engaged in everything to make that we get it right. That's why you didn't see me. Local independent referendum treated the administration of colonialism. Nigeria government colonizing us. Nigeria government is the one that right now colonizes Biafran people. We have already opted out from Nigeria. Whether they like it or not. We have maintained our standard. We have met all the queries. We have maintained all the criteria. So I don't know reason why our people are not listening and not paying attention to the importance of all these things that are very important to what we are doing. Hmm? After a period of an internal self-referendum, self-governance, which means itself was from form of a political self-determination. After our self-referendum vote, we form a government. We have people that can governize us, people that can lead the affairs of the Biafran people. They call it political self-determination. That is what self-referendum triggers to. They said it's a legitimate document to seek for an international recognition. Some countries did not do it, and some over 50 countries had it. Today, many of them are where they're supposed to be.
Held votes. Many groups have held referendums that failed to lead to independence, either because the vote itself failed, Quebec, Scotland, or because the parent state refused to recognize the result, Catalonia, Iraqi Kurdistan.
You had it clearly. Some people were like Nigeria, they are making mockery of our self-referendum vote. They refuse to accept it. But truth remains what? That the truth has out, and nobody will stop it from our hand, my people. So when you tag your Vicar, we give him evidence of what we're doing and why we are doing that. That we are not just doing something. We created it and know how it will go. What worked for America will not work for us. What worked for Britain will not work for us. What worked for France and Guinea or any other person, we will define our way, but it must be under international law when we are agitation. Now we're no longer in agitation. Now that we have officially declared with our self-referendum and every document, we still have international recognition. We must go on a legal way this time around. That is what it is. It is what it is. The truth is what I want you to know. So my people, that is what we have to do to bring to so-called the Vicar and other people who are messing up with our self-referendum vote, because I want them to know the quality and the value of our self-referendum. It's going to 2 hours Sunday today. We're going to come back again online. So people, anybody who wants to call, you are free to call. As we are interacting the program, you can call, please, my people. Remember the line still remain plus 9733605137. Look at countries who has conducted self-referendum. Look at it. They use only that becomes a country. They use only self-referendum without official declaration to become a country. And people are not understanding the ethics of the movement of having a new country. And some never. They don't want us to leave Nigeria. You on your own, go and stay in your one Nigeria, allow to go. It doesn't call for fight. Why are you pressuring me? Why are you commanding me? Why putting armor tankers here and there for me to be a one Nigeria? Only that is only where we're Nigeria. But if you are sharing things, you forget the name. You forget those are living that area. My people, it's no longer a time we have to be confused. It is the time that we do everything right, my people. So please like and share the program. That's what we are saying. We are here for over 2 hours. We only have 25 likes. Our people do not like such a program because they want where they will be talking and be laughing. They want where we can be repeating the same thing we said today. Tomorrow we'll come, we'll say it. They don't want where they will go and say another different thing that's needed to be known. Or you will be talking to Vicar without evidence. When they will bring evidence of you to come and listen, you will run away. The level where we are is no longer the level where we showcase men on ground. No, it's the level where men on ground is silent and doing their job. The government will all be doing their own also. That is where we are for now. So, whether you come here or you did not come, but please, anytime you see the program, please like and share the program, because it's to prove evidence to the enemies Because that is why when they say what, sometimes we have to take our time to go and research what the law said about what that person said, about what we the Biafran people are doing. If the Biafran people are doing the right thing, if all we are doing, the international support we are doing or did not. And whatever you know that we are doing as international support, we must increase the momentum of doing it. What the government after our declaration are doing is what legal, is what is legit. Is what doing to seek for a new country. If you don't want, keep quiet, remain silent. You must not come and show your ugly head. You must not come outside. That is why we take our time to present this to Vicar, so that he may see that international support what we are doing. It's the right of the people to prove how ready they are and how they love their new country for to make it a safe place for them. Self-determination is not for mouth. It's all these things that are things that surrender the self-what? Determination. Self-referendum lead to self-determination. That is how they got his conclusion here. Vicar. This is under international law of UN Charter Article 1, common Article 1 of it again. That is how we get it. And you are social media ranting. She was a battle. Then look at how you bring yourself low. Look at those you want to be on a platform. Nonsense man. Usable without thinking. I am in America. Meaning what? Does it being in America make you to acquire all the knowledge that is in the world? Who you help? Except to come on social media to come and talk trash, to come and say things that you know that is not the truth, but because of you and Nigeria believe in lying, so that is why you must continue lying. My people, if you wish to call, you can call on our platform to submit your own suggestion on number +9733 6051 That is number to call. We are waiting for call. If nobody called in the next some minutes, we are going to end the program to have some rest, and later we'll come back again today. My people, it is very, very important the food is so. It is very important. You can that Vicar is working with Ogen Kere. Exactly what is exactly if you look at his movement. Yeah, I'm in America. Doing what now? Who America help? America fought for their independence, and they are today enjoying eating burger and shawarma there, and you refuse to come and fight for your own. You have more to come and talk social media to condemn what you don't know about it. So I hope, my people, we have give Vicar what he wants. If you take it and insult the way we talk to him, is what he deserves. Because no guy go so much Vicar put go August no matter how what it takes. You don't know the game, how to play it. So close your gutter big mouths. Let the people do what they're supposed to do. The government are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that everything is okay and they are on the right track. They are using all these international laws, they are searching and seeing it, and they're implementing all of them. So we must continue what we are doing. I told you about OBS said after the declaration that one day we will sit on the right with Nigeria to negotiate. Yes, that is a negotiation. It triggers to that, it amounts to that. If they refuse, then the world has no other option to deal and sanction Nigeria every way. And the world in Nigeria also, if the right people are saying about it, everything will be okay. I want to tell you this. Peter Obi is coming to distract you again. Are you going to run away again is the question. As Peter Obi is coming to distract you, to come to destroy our declaration, are you going to abandon the movements? Are you going to abandon your account to join Peter Obi for one Nigeria? Are you sure you are going to stand? Because that is what they use to test our faith. In the first time of what Toby happens, those who come back today come and start even insulting and talking dragon nonsense on social media. So, my people, Peter Obi is coming. Even though they said that Atiku has come down for him, it's not an option for you to think otherwise. Do not run away from your freedom. Do not. Stand strong. Stand strong. Let nothing move you. Stand on your mandate. Stand on the declaration of Minister of Biafra. Start having a new country. This is what will save everything that we are doing. I want you to know that nobody will do it for you except you by yourself. That is the truth of the matter. So the Biafran people, I want to thank you all for being here this morning. Just want to make it 1 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours 30 minutes already. So please, you're going to edit up here. Wait for us when we'll come back again between afternoon and evening time. We must continue what we are doing. Nobody will stop us and nobody will do it for us. We only want to do it by ourselves. So from me, from here, have a wonderful day, my people. Thank you so much for coming.